What I'm going to be doing today is addressing a few questions that I've received regarding last week's video on the Hope hollowing system. So what I'm going to do is, without further ado, we'll go across to the lathe, I'll change the camera angle, and hopefully I can address some of the questions that have been asked regarding it. Okay, I had a very important question from a guy called Robert Cornelius. He asked me how long your lathe needs to be to hollow out a 12-inch form. So I went about testing, and this is one of the first test pieces I did, and yes, there is a hole in it, but the reason for that is I left the bark on and I wanted to see how the laser reacted while the piece was spinning with the wall thickness there, but obviously the wall thickness there is going to be a lot thinner because the bark is concave. So it answered my question and I know how it reacts now. However, that's that's something else. So going back to the original question, sorry, rather than saying how long your lathe needs to be, because headstocks, the distance the chuck is out from the headstock, how big how long your tailstock is, etc., all has a bearing on the length of lathe you have and what you need. So the most important thing, in my opinion, would be is how much sort of bedways you need from the end of your piece to where you put the kicker plate down. Now, as you can see, this is all very tight here. The kicker plate's here, there's not much room for the banjo and indeed the tool rest, but this is only 6 inches from the pivot point or the anchor point of the kicker plate to the front of the piece. This is a 10-inch piece, or it's 10 inches from the chuck to the front here, and the post at an angle is 8 inches away from the front. So, and this works absolutely perfectly, no problem there at all. So the answer I would say is, providing you've got a minimum of 5 to 6 inches of bedway in front of your piece, then you can use the Hope Easy Arm jig without any problem whatsoever. And in fact, I'll tell you a little secret, I was using this a lot further back, but I actually prefer it closer to the piece, purely and simply because the main arm here, once you get it set up for the angle you want to use, that sort of doesn't move quite as easy as this, because that's sort of an anchorish point, if you like. Then you can use the knuckle easily, and this arm moves, and it's really easy to use. That's something else I found. Another question was, why didn't you use the laser with the 6mm cutter and only excuse me, with the 19mm finishing cutter? No reason at all, and in actual fact since then I've used the laser with this, have the wall a little bit thicker than you want to end up with this, because this does cut away really effectively, and then set the laser to the tighter tolerance with the 19mm cutter to get a nice smooth surface and finish off your even wall thickness down the piece. So that's something else. And as I say, don't forget, these cutters are completely interchangeable with each other. That was the main question, and I think the most important one, because obviously it's no point thinking of investing in something if your lathe isn't long enough to use it. But I'll be honest with you, I'm really impressed with how versatile this kicker system is, kicker plate is, because it really allows very small lathes to use the system. So just remember, and I'll reiterate it again, I'm sorry to go on, but it's an important point, providing you've got between 5 and 6 inches in front of the end of the piece to anchor this down, and obviously have room for your banjo to go in between, then you can quite easily use this system. Although I covered it in the initial video, obviously somebody fast forwarded through it, just to let you know, yes, you can put the 16mm bar in here. There is a reducing sleeve which fits into the handle, and you can put your 6mm Carbide Pro in there, or indeed any other tool from any other manufacturer which has either a 16mm diameter bar or a 19mm diameter bar. So hopefully that addresses that question too. So hopefully that's answered what I consider a very important question regarding the size of lathe needed for a 12-inch piece, or whatever size piece. And I think if you use that sort of rule of thumb, sort of a minimum 5 to 6 inches from the front of the piece to where you anchor the kicker plate, you will have no problems. And I won't say should have no problems, you won't, because it does work. The one other thing is that I think it's important also to say that you do have to, like with any tool, you have to practice. There's no way you're just going to be able to put this up and use it to its full capacity. Yes, you will get good results to begin with, but the more practice you have, I've found out a few little nuances which I found improve the way that it works as well. But this is all with experience, and the great thing about it is it's an enjoyable learning curve. I think so anyway, and I'm sure you will too if you decide to go down this route. So next time I will be hopefully doing a turning video, and thank you very much indeed for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers now.